Internet! I'm Elliot the Purple-Haired Doofus, and welcome back to The Name of the Wind by Patrick Lofus. Today we are covering chapters 64, 65, 66, and 67, so I hope you've read up to that point because I do not want to ruin anything for you. Today's section opens up with Kavote looking for dinner again, because once you have that romantic connection that lasts all night long, really want to relive it, don't you? You just want to dig your claws into it and just go all in, right? Right? I mean, I guess, but I want to learn more about how Kavote became an adventurer and how he became so world famous that this chronicler wants to tell his story so badly. Luckily for me, that's coming up. After he gives up looking for dinner, he goes to Kelvin to turn in his lamp, which is pretty much like his final project of magic making. And it's one of the steps that he needs to take in order to progress farther into university. Kelvin takes the lamp and he says, you know, this is made a little differently than most lamps. I think I'm just gonna put it down and put my hands behind my back. Do you know how many times I've had my hands blown off by improperly made lamps, Kavote? No, I don't. Should I? None. Kavote, I haven't ever had it happen. And you know why? It's because when someone hands me a lamp that's, made differently, I tend not to touch it. So why don't you tell me what you did? Kavote then shows off the lamp and shows all the new added features that he added to the lamp. And I can't help thinking that what he's pretty much made is a flashlight. Right? If you've read that part, it's a flashlight, right? Kelvin says, this is great, all these additions are amazing, but I have to destroy it. We can't have this falling into the wrong hands. I could see thieves using this to do nefarious things in the darkness. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Kavote goes, wait! I spent all my money on that! Could you just, Can you sell it back to me? Can I buy it back from you? I just really don't want you to destroy it. I spent all my money on that. I can't sell it to you. It's pretty much a sense of, I can't sell you what you've made. Here. So Kavote takes his lamp back and he goes to celebrate with his friends. And the thing about his celebratory life now that, he's a minstrel that everyone wants to tip, is that he gets a lot of free drinks. And he describes how he needs to kind of save up the drinks and, kind of space them out because so many people want to give him free drinks throughout the night that if he drank as much free drinks as he gets every night, he would not be able to function as a human being. So when he takes his friends out, they gladly come because they know all of their drinks are going to be free drinks that he's saved up. As he's out celebrating with his friends, he runs into dinner. And he promptly ditches his friends for dinner. Actually, that's not quite right. What happens is, Dinah comes up and talks to him and asks him if he would like to leave with her. And Dinah asks his friends if, say, she would be stealing them from him. And his friends kind of push him away from him and say, No, you take him. Take him away, please. I can only hope that if I run into a similar situation that my friends will be those kind of assholes. So Kavote and Dinah are walking along, and we find out that Dinah actually remembers a carriage ride into town. And Kavote is shocked that she remembers. And she says, how could I forget the one man who ran away from me to go to school? And then they start discussing how she's being called Diane now. And Kavote asks if he should call her Diane from now on. And she says, yeah, Dinah's just this girl that I was. I am Diane. So go ahead and call me that. Kavote takes Diane back to her place, and a friend is standing there at the door, and he says, "Be careful with Diane. She's kind of a fleeting woman. She never stays still. I just don't want her to break your heart like I've seen her break so many men's other hearts." And it's all very touching how Kavote says, "It doesn't matter if she breaks my heart, I love her, blah blah blah." Moving on! Now, we get to the kind of chem lab. And as I'm reading this part where he's discussing all of the different chemicals and all of the different ways that the chemicals can hurt you and the precautions at the lab that he's using these chemicals in, I'm starting to think that, this story could be told in any time. It could be told, in the distant past like it is. It could be told in present day. It could be told in the future. It really the story itself kind of transcends time. It's just the author's preference that it takes place in the distant past. As Kavote is using bone tar, he takes some out of a canister, closes it back up, goes underneath the security hood to keep from dying, and he's using it when he hears a yelp. And he looks out and he sees that the bone tar is licking out of the canister. And it's starting to spread throughout the lab. And this is where we get to the point where we finally get some adventure! And Kavote breaks the water that is underneath his hood, and it floods the lab as he runs after a woman named Fela, snatches her up, and rushes her out before the lab explodes because of the expanding bone tar. Later, he wakes up in the hospital and finds out that his injuries are a lot more, prominent than Fela's, but he also wakes up to everyone calling him a hero. And he really likes being called a hero. After he gets out of the hospital, he goes to Kilvin to retrieve all of the stuff that he left behind when he saved Fela. And Kilvin's giving him a real hard time about everything. About the lamp that he found in his cloak, about his cloak that was just lying there, about the fact that he was, barefoot in the lab. And Kilvin's like, "I am so sorry." And Kilvin's like, "Oh dude, I'm totally fucking with you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for saving Dennett, and by the looks of it, you saved a lot of my lab. You are amazing. People are calling you a hero, right?" And then Kavote and Kilvin start discussing, how they doused the fire and how they saved, Fela. And each one of them are just kind of like, I have my ways. And they're just kind of like slyly giving hints, but never actually quite telling each other exactly what they did. And it's just kind of like, those two have secrets. Are they going to battle each other at the end of the story? They're going to oh, that would be awesome. The question I have for you today, pertaining to today's section, is when was the last time that you were called a hero that you felt you didn't really need to be called a hero? When did someone see what you were doing as brave when you thought it wasn't? Yesterday's question was, when was the last time that you had a beacon of light shining at you and you just couldn't read the signals? I have honestly had this happen to me so many times that I can't remember the last time that it's happened, but I can tell you about some very memorable times that it's happened. When I was really young, my parents decided to take me Easter egg hunting, and one of the Easter eggs was placed on top of a fence post. A fence post that I continually walked back and forth. And my family would tell me, "It's right there. You're staring right at it." And they would point at it. And I would turn around and I would not see it. I would just be looking out into the distance. I would be looking in the little fence holes for eggs and nothing. But there it was. And I know this because they took a picture of me going next to a Easter egg on top of a fence post. In my defense, it was a bright sunny day and the egg was sky blue. Just to let you know. One time when I was in the military, I was woken up in the middle of the night for a drug test. And when I was woken up, my sergeants took a look around my room and they said that you might want to clean up your room before you head to work today. I said, okay, and I ignored them and did my drug test, came back and did not clean my room, and went to work, not knowing that my first sergeant was going around inspecting the rooms that day. Let's just say that that day was a very difficult day, and leave it at that. Do not forget that the next book that I will be reading is Sacre Bleu by Christopher Moore. Go out and grab it by any legal means necessary. Buy it at a bookstore, buy it on Kindle, borrow it from a friend, borrow it from a library. I do not really care what you do to get it, as long as it's legal. And read it before I ruin it for you. Just a tip though, I definitely suggest that you get the print version, as all of the print is in blue, and it comes with full color photographs of the paintings that he is discussing inside of the book. Seriously, it's kind of amazing. I have been the Purple-Haired Doofus, reminding you to watch your pajama ratings. And I will see you all in the next chapters of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Toodles!